Hey everyone, if you love to watch history, hit that subscribe button and watch the video till the end because video is going to be very interesting. Your support keeps this channel going. Did the CIA really take down governments? The Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, has long been associated with covert operations, espionage, and, most controversially, regime change. Throughout the Cold War and beyond, numerous governments around the world have fallen under circumstances that suggest U.S. involvement. But how much of this is conspiracy, and how much is backed by historical evidence? In this article, we explore whether the CIA has actually taken down governments, how it has done so, and the long-term consequences of these actions. The role of the CIA in global politics. The CIA was established in 1947 as part of the U.S. National Security Act. Its primary mission was to gather intelligence and prevent threats to American national security. However, as the Cold War intensified, the agency took on a more aggressive role, intervening in the internal politics of various nations, often under the pretext of countering communism or protecting American interests. Methods used by the CIA to overthrow governments. While the CIA does not openly admit to overthrowing governments, historical records, declassified documents, and testimonies from former operatives provide insight into the strategies used, including propaganda and psychological operations. The CIA has often used misinformation campaigns to discredit governments or opposition figures. This includes funding newspapers, radio stations, and media outlets to spread anti-government narratives. Funding and arming opposition groups. The agency has supported insurgent groups and political dissidents who oppose target regimes. Economic warfare. The CIA has orchestrated financial disruptions to weaken governments, such as freezing assets, encouraging strikes, and manipulating currency markets. Direct military coups. In some cases, the CIA has been involved in planning and executing military coups against foreign leaders, assassinations, and removal of leaders. There are numerous allegations and some confirmed cases of CIA involvement in assassination attempts or orchestrating the removal of world leaders. Key historical examples of CIA interventions: Iran, 1953, Operation Ajax, one of the most well-documented CIA-led coups, took place in Iran in 1953. The CIA, along with British intelligence, orchestrated the overthrow of Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh after he nationalized the oil industry, threatening Western economic interests. The operation reinstated the Shah of Iran, leading to decades of autocratic rule and ultimately the Iranian Revolution of 1979. Guatemala, 1954. PBSCC's Guatemalan president Jacobo Arbenz attempted land reforms that threatened the interests of the US-based United Fruit Company. The CIA launched a coup backing military forces that ousted Arbenz and installed a pro-American dictator. This intervention sparked decades of political instability and civil war in Guatemala. Chile, 1973, overthrow of Salvador Allende. Salvador Allende, a democratically elected socialist, faced strong opposition from the U.S. due to his leftist policies. The CIA funneled money to opposition groups, spread anti-Allende propaganda, and supported a military coup led by General Augusto Pinochet. Pinochet's dictatorship led to widespread human rights abuses. Congo, 1961. The CIA was implicated in the arrest and execution of Patrice Lumumba, the first Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, fearing his ties to the Soviet Union. While Belgian forces carried out the assassination, declassified documents suggest strong CIA involvement in orchestrating his removal. Indonesia, 1965. Anti-communist purge following a failed coup attempt in Indonesia. The CIA provided lists of suspected communists to the Indonesian military, resulting in mass executions. Estimates suggest that up to 1 million people were killed in the purge that followed, consolidating US-backed leader Suharto's power. Pakistan, 1977 and 2001 present. Pakistan has been a key ally of the US in South Asia. Yet the country has experienced multiple political upheavals allegedly linked to CIA activities. In 1977, the military coup led by General Zia-ul-Haq ousted Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. While direct CIA involvement remains debated, U.S. diplomatic and intelligence support for Zia's regime, particularly during the Soviet-Afghan War, suggests significant external influence. In the post-9/11 era, the CIA has been deeply involved in Pakistan through counterterrorism operations, drone strikes, and intelligence collaboration. The agency's support for military rule and political maneuvering, especially during the U.S. War on Terror, has influenced Pakistan's governance and stability, leading to tensions between civilian governments and the military establishment. Bangladesh, 1975, the assassination of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, Bangladesh, which gained independence from Pakistan in 1971, witnessed a brutal coup in 1975 that led to the assassination of its founding leader, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. While the direct role of the CIA remains debated, declassified U.S. diplomatic cables suggest that Washington was aware of the coup plot beforehand and did not intervene to prevent it. Some analysts argue that the U.S. saw Mujib's socialist policies and ties with the Soviet bloc as a threat, and his removal aligned with broader American geopolitical interests in the region. The coup led to years of military rule and political instability in Bangladesh. Sri Lanka, 1980 as present, alleged CIA involvement. Sri Lanka has long been a site of geopolitical interest due to its strategic position in the Indian Ocean. During the Cold War, the U.S. maintained a cautious approach toward Sri Lanka's government, which often pursued a non-linked foreign policy. However, in the 1980s, allegations emerged that the CIA had indirect involvement in fueling internal conflicts, particularly the Sri Lankan Civil War. Some reports suggest that the CIA had connections with certain Tamil militant groups in the early stages of the conflict, possibly as a means to counterbalance Soviet and Indian influence in the region. Additionally, during the Janata Vimukti Peramuna (JVP) insurrections, there were claims that the U.S. provided intelligence assistance to the Sri Lankan government to suppress leftist uprisings. More recently, concerns have been raised about U.S. intelligence activities influencing Sri Lanka's domestic politics, particularly in relation to its economic policies and strategic partnerships with China. While definitive evidence of direct CIA-led coups in Sri Lanka is lacking, the country's political instability and foreign policy alignments have often drawn U.S. attention. Additional covert interventions beyond direct coups, the CIA has been involved in numerous covert operations aimed at influencing foreign governments. Indonesia, 1965, support for the anti-communist purge that led to Suharto's rise to power. Afghanistan, 1980, CIA-backed Mujahideen, fighters against the Soviet invasion, contributing to later instability. Nicaragua, support for the Contras against the Sandinista government, a campaign marred by human rights abuses and the Iran-Contra scandal. The Cold War and beyond, continued CIA involvement. While the Cold War justified many of these interventions under the guise of fighting communism, the CIA has continued to be linked to regime changes even after the fall of the Soviet Union. Some examples include Haiti, 1991, 2004, CIA ties to military leaders involved in coups. Venezuela, 2002, allegations of CIA involvement in the failed coup against Hugo Chavez. Libya, 2011, U.S. intelligence involvement in supporting rebels against Muammar Gaddafi. Ukraine, 2014, controversies surrounding U.S. influence in the ousting of President Viktor Yanukovych. Consequences of CIA-backed regime changes. While these interventions often achieved short-term U.S. geopolitical goals, they had significant long-term consequences, including political instability. Many nations that experienced CIA-backed coups struggled with prolonged instability and authoritarian rule. Rise of anti-American sentiment. CIA interventions have fueled anti-American foreign policy, human rights violations. Many of the U.S.-backed regimes committed severe human rights abuses. Blowback. In some cases, U.S. interventions led to unintended consequences, such as the rise of extremist groups. e.g. the Taliban after U.S. support for Afghan Mujahideen. Conclusion. The historical record strongly suggests that the CIA has played a direct role in the overthrow of multiple governments. While these interventions were often framed as necessary for U.S. security, they have left a legacy of instability, conflict, and resentment. The debate continues over whether such actions were justified or whether they have done more harm than good to global stability and America's reputation. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notifications so you never miss a new video. Your support means everything to us. Keep supporting.